All right, guys. Hey, thank you guys for coming in. I'm not going to tell you the number on this episode because I actually don't know what it is. But if you're watching this now, I'm more than likely across the pond in India. Hopefully, at some point, I've come live this week to you guys on the RIN. I will try to pop in while I'm over there. But if you're watching it, hey, thanks for all your support. Thank you so much to all the guys that sent the Beanie Babies and Hot Wheels to myself to come over here. I'm sure by now the kids are enjoying it. But we're going to do a little special episode today talking about auctions. So we want to go ahead and thank our channel members, but then we'll jump into the wide world of auctions come in all shapes, forms, and sizes. And we want to share a little bit about that. So I'm going to pull Tim in and let him thank the channel members, and then we'll get going.
All right. I'm wearing the same clothes. Thank you to our channel members, AZ Katsu, Simply Shenanigans, Diane Matthews, our very own Blood, Sweat, and Selves, Trash Cat Rescue, New England Betty Boop, Joe Deals, Old School Picker, Vintage Sport Flips, Charities, Terrific Wines, Kathleen the Fern Wave Flipper, Ohio Pickers, Annette and Frank Rudely Retro, Absolute Finds, Des Hardy, Heather Peddler, James Steinbreaker, Hold Pass, High Plains Flipper, Walter Tilton, Black Sheep Society, Death Pile Picker, Mark Rowlands, Tracer J's Trading, Aaron Vaughn, Central Iowa Picker, and Wiggle Room.
Nice.
There was a lot going on there.
Hey, this is 2 weeks after they saw that first episode. So, guys, we do laundry. I promise we do. Hey, we're going to go around the horn and we're going to talk on the subject of auctions, both in person and online. Now, we know we all come at this at different angles. There's a guy on our panel who he's mentioned some websites all along because auctions for him is a way of sourcing. And I know he's talked about this before, but Leroy, if you want to pop in and tell him a little about the live auction forum, what that looks like, what you're looking for, and what's
going on, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day. Listen, I want to tell you guys to thank everybody for coming out to our auction today. As you see, we have a lot of stuff here. So we're going to start the bidding off $1. I got $1. I got $1. I got $5. I got $5.
Yep.
5, 5, 5,
Yep.
15, 15, 25. I got 25, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35 in the yellow. I got 45, 45, I got 45, I got 50. I got 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. Got 50 over there, 50, 50. I got 50 once. I got 50 twice. Sold to the guy in the 50 hat. Anyway, guys, I had to do that. Sorry. I used to call for an auctioneer back when I was up in New England. So I really can do that. But being honest with you guys, I do most of my big buys off of auctionzip.com. And you type in your zip code, you type in the miles you want to drive, and once you get used to it, it's a little confusing in the beginning. It shows you a calendar. You can pick a day. You can go on vacation and you can find estate sales, yard sales, and auctions. You can find houses. You can find land. So anything that they have live auctions for, you can find. They do have auctions that are online. I've never messed with them, so I couldn't really tell you much about them. If anybody has any questions, please make sure you message me. I think, Eric, we should put in the notes that I should do a deep dive and go into AuctionZip and show you guys a little bit of AuctionZip in AuctionZip. And I could do that now if you wanted me to, but anyway, let me know. So going to, you know what? We're going to do that now, guys. We're jumping ahead. We're going to go really quick. We're going to go into auctionzip.com. And I'm just going to show you. It's easier for me to show you guys than sit here and do some stuff. So I'm going to show you guys really quick.
Now,
Okay. So
how many auctions we like to hit?
it depends. I'm just going to show the process of what I do, not really go into an auction because we don't have much time today, but we will do a further dive into it, guys. I just want to give you guys an idea because it's hard to explain when. Okay, so this is the site, guys. Okay, so it's auctionzip.com. So I'm going to put in, you can put keywords. I'm going to put in my zip code. And then, oh, sorry, guys. Okay. And then I usually go, you could do 30 miles. I'll show you how that works. So I put 30 miles. So it shows you this little calendar. Okay. This calendar, now it ends, we're going to go over to February because there's not a lot on that one. So it shows you every day. Every day it will show you there's 2 live auctions. Saturdays is usually the ones I go to. There's usually more. Now that's only 30 miles, so it doesn't give me a good span. I'm just going to jump in and go to the 150. 150 is going to give me most of North Carolina, South Carolina, a little bit of Tennessee, and Georgia. That's what 150 gives me from where I am. So watch how much of a change it is once you go into, look at that. So now you got, every day you have auctions. Now there's auction houses and then there's live auctions. 90% of your live auctions are going to be on the weekends. Okay. So like any day I can pick a day. I am going to go in and just show you quickly. So you go in to, this is the 15th of February and it shows me, look, a farm of, there's like a tractor in the background. I could see it. Then there's a car auction. Then there's just a general auction. There's equipment auctions. I'm talking like an auctioneer, guys. I'm sorry. I'm over here fast. Eric, don't give me much time to do this. You see a tractor, that means it's a farm and there's other stuff in the farm. There's just a lot of different, then there's like glass. There's one with glass. So that's just one day. That's the 15th. And if you look, Greensboro, North Carolina, some of these names I cannot read. Shelby, Virginia, it goes up to Virginia a little bit because I put 150 miles. So if you come over here and we go back to the calendar, I can go to the 20. Say I know the 24th. There's a day I have open, and that's it. And I just look at these auctions and I go through the auction. We'll jump in one. I'm not staying here, guys. And it shows you a bunch of pictures, and you just look at the pictures to try to determine what you like. There's a bunch of things that interest you. But that being said, guys, I really like live auctions. That wasn't the twist that I was supposed to put on this, but I think Eric will be happy with me. I did okay. But that's, that site is very important to me. I've been using it, guys. That site's been around for over 20 years. I've been using this site religiously. That's how I find all my stuff. And it's not tools. It's not just tools. You go into these and you'll see glassware and stuff like that. And you'll see some.
Yep. He got so excited he just froze right up. Yeah. I know, using the resource of that. I'll just tell you too, I mean, it is good to check like in your local papers or on boards in your post office and that kind of stuff. Because sometimes these local auction houses may be low tech. Like I go to a few low tech ones that Facebook is a good place to look for auctions as well in your area. Like there's local auction houses. I just hit a load at one. Now I know there's 2 sides of auctions, and you guys, Tim and Cernoch, actually did a little road trip recently to. So what's the other side of auctions when it comes to reselling, guys?
Well, so we're taking it. We're taking this in like a little different direction. So how many times you go to a yard sale or a yard crawl or even a thrift store, and you buy a load of stuff, and then you sell 3 or 4 items out of that and pays for everything else, and then you just chip away at it. But there's stuff that that's valuable. And I think I'm the worst person on this panel. You just don't want to list it. You just don't want to list it. You've got a great piece, and you're just like, man, it's gonna be too hard to ship, or you just, I don't know. It just doesn't excite you enough. It's worth money, it doesn't excite you. So you get these piles of stuff, because especially me, like at my honey hole, I find stuff so cheap. It's like, well, how am I not gonna pick this up? For $3, this is a $50, $60, $100 item. How am I not gonna pick this up? So you do that more and more, and you build a pile. Then you got the pile all around you. You go, whoa, I gotta get rid of some of this stuff. And we've tried it. We've tried it in the past before. Try to do a what were they called? An antique booth. You rent an antique booth. You set it all up, all nice, and then depending on traffic and everything, that's I won't say that was a failure. It was just like, it was okay. Would I do it again? Probably not, but it was a great learning experience. Now, I didn't really lose money doing it because I always came up a little bit ahead, but that was just a little bit ahead, after, because mine was like, I think $150, just rounding it out, $150 a month. And if I sold $200 worth of stuff, well, I'm getting a $50 check, so it's like, well, was $50 worth the gas, the mileage, the setting it all up, the price tagging, all that stuff? Oh, to me, it wasn't. So we're trying a new type of, like for us, for other people, it's like, oh yeah, we've done that. But something new for us is bringing stuff for consignment. Now, it's funny. We just talked about consignment. How right. I would never do consignment for anybody. But there are places that will do consignment for people. And this is what we were talking about and kind of hinting at. We brought our stuff for consignment. Now, the percentage, they take 35%. But all we had to do is load it up in our cars, drive it there, and there you go. Okay? They do all the pictures. They do, if there's shipping involved, they do the shipping. They do all that stuff. So for me, to get rid of a bunch of, not junk, but just a bunch of stuff that was like, let someone else take care of this, or let's, someone else mess with this, instead of donating it, hey, we dropped it off. And I'm really excited to see what it's going to look like. They were giving us a window of like maybe being February 20th or March 5th, something like that, and they run a 1-week auction on all the stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see. We'll keep everyone updated. Tim, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, just to kind of like double down on all of the auction stuff that we're kind of talking about right now. As far as buying goes, like looking at the pictures is always helpful, if you're planning on going to auction, because I've been to the auction, a few times, and I'm actually thinking about going back to an auction that I've been to before this. Well, at some point, whenever this video, it might have already happened by the time this video came out, but sometimes they offer you a early viewing period before the auction actually starts. So you kind of want to go to that too, because you can see the pictures, but you never really know until you get there and you can see the items and hold the items, because there might be damage, pieces missing, etc. So it's kind of good to do that, and it gives you a little bit of time to like comp stuff and kind of like set yourself at a budget, like, because sometimes like already all know, I'm a very competitive person. So like I can end up getting myself into a bad situation at an auction. So like I would like to know like where I'm at, like what my end is gonna be, like where I have to drop out as far as pricing goes. But it's super important because there might be things there that you see that you didn't know about it from the pictures, So definitely take advantage of those early viewing opportunities. And as far as what Cernoch and I did, it's like it's crazy because we did talk about the consignment thing, right? And like if I were to do consignment, like what percentage would I take? Like 60%, right? So these people are only taking 35%. So I'm like, that's a win for me, right? Just because like I'm in a situation right now where like I'm trying to like revitalize my entire business. And by doing so, like when I was going through some of this stuff, like it's really good. It's almost like healthy for you too. It's like free therapy. Like I'm getting paid for therapy because like I'm going through this stuff and I'm like, man, like this has been listed for 4 years. It's only listed on Etsy. I never even cross-listed it to anything else because this is from when I first started. Like I was telling Josie when I was bringing down the boxes, and plus it made Josie happy to see 16 boxes go out the door, right? But like Josie, I was like, there's stuff in these boxes that like, yes, it has value, right? It's not like I'm dropping off leftover yard sale stuff. It has value. But like, it probably because I didn't list it well. I didn't take good pictures, But there's stuff that I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole now. And it's not because it doesn't have value. It's because it's not in my business model of how I source and sell now. So like for me, it was like therapy. And then I found stuff that wasn't listed at all that I'm listing right now that are like $50 items that have just been sitting in a box mixed in with stuff that had no business being in inventory in the first place. So like you're winning on so many different angles, and sometimes it's like it's just good for to hit the restart button, the refresh button. We've talked about that plenty of times here on RIM, So like for me, like it was a bit of a drive. It was a lot of work. Like I'm still sore right now. My back is on killing me right now because like I mean I'm lifting boxes and I'm sorting boxes. I'm bringing the boxes downstairs. I'm bringing the boxes in the car. I'm bringing the boxes out. But I don't gotta take pictures. I don't gotta like. I thought I was sitting here like, yo, I'm just gonna do a whatnot sale or I'm gonna do a one-stop shop sale, right? And then I sat in and I said, man, do you know how much time it would have taken me to ship all 16 boxes of that? Like, there's no way. There's no way. So sometimes it's like, you got to cut your losses. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, like, I don't even really look at it like cutting my losses because, like, bro, it's been sitting in a box. It's been through 3 storage units, my mom's house here. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I really doing? I'm not doing. This is not doing me any good. So it's just like sometimes you just gotta kind of like you gotta change your whole perspective. Look at things from a different angle and be like yo, like it's just I don't know. It's hard to describe, but like this has provided an opportunity for me. Like everybody's situation is gonna be a little bit different, but this has provided me with an opportunity to like really like take a look at what are you doing, Tim? Like get it together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is not how you're gonna make money. Having this Lennox creamer and sugar in a box in this room that's listed on Etsy with 2 pictures and a horrible description is not gonna make you any money. So that's how I kind of looked at this whole thing.
But it's almost that you're looking at like, all right, not cutting your losses, but it's like, all right, this stuff is worth money because I would have picked it up if it wasn't. But we adapt. For me, a lot of it was just like smaller ASP, average sale price, or just like it looks cool. It was something I got for the antique booth or something like that because it had it was kitschy. It was cool. But that's like at the end of it, it's like, all right, what do I do with all this stuff? Do I take 2 months to list all this stuff and stuff that I'm not really interested in? I'd rather be listing jackets right now. I'd be listing boots or hats, getting ready to list hats. to me, that doesn't excite me. So a lot of this stuff, like hard goods, doesn't excite me. So it's like, well, I could do one, box it all up, and take it and donate it. But that's causing yourself work. And it's like, well, if you believed in the product that you bought initially, then why don't you try to, and I think this is a great outlet for that, going, hey, even if I get $5 for it, that's $5 toward more inventory. That's progressing. Okay. You're not taking, we're not taking an entire loss, but like Tim said, there's some stuff I didn't want to ship. There was this big old glass lamp with this huge glass top on it. I'll tell you right now, there's no way I was shipping that. Zero. Like zero. Okay. So it's easier to be like, hey, here, y'all deal with it. So that's how I'm looking at it, not starting over, but like just a different avenue. And if this takes off, if we're, making money, I can be like, yo, I'm gonna buy that for the auction. And maybe, get in good graces with them. Show them that, hey, we're not dropping, because the one thing that she did say was kind of funny at the beginning. She's like, I just want to make sure this isn't leftover garage sale stuff. And it's like, no, it's not. And so when we started going to the boxes, she kind of realized, like, oh yeah, this is good stuff. This is really, really good stuff. So we brought a mixture also. We brought bigger things, and we bought smaller things too, because this auction house, they do high bid for 7 days, but they will ship some items, because that's a really for auction houses on high bid to provide shipping for customers outside of the initial area is a big deal. That's how they get searched more. That's how they get more people to them. So they are going to ship, smaller items. So I was thinking that too. I'm like, yo, let's grab like a lot of small items to put in the auction. So all in all, I think I brought like 250 items to the auction.
I'm trying to think. Like I bought 16 boxes. So I think it was 16 boxes. So you're probably looking at, I probably bought about close to 200 items, and then like 200 pounds of cards. So that'll probably be split into like another like 20 lots maybe. So I brought a significant amount of stuff.
Yeah. I would say anybody that now we will allow everyone to go on the adventure. When they get the listings all done and like they put it up, we will share the link so everyone can see how it looked and maybe follow along, and then we'll come up with an update at a later episode. We'll come up with with an update of our first auction that we took stuff to. So we'll come up with an update. If you're looking for something like that, a lot of these places on auctions.com that he was talking about, or even highbid.com, you can go on, look in your area, see if there's, if you think this could possibly work for you, like it did Tim and I. Look it up, see if there's in, make some phone calls, go down there, visit them, see, go shake some hand, develop those relationships we talked about in 3 episodes ago. Develop those relationships, because here's the thing. Not only did we take stuff, I talked about clothing to the lady.
Yep.
She sent me pictures of clothing already. Okay. So it's another way to spread the word and get people, because listen, they can work for you as you work for them as well. So it's a symbiotic relationship that I think a lot of people aren't taking advantage of, because sometimes we're stuck in that rut, like list. Whereas, some of the stuff is like, I don't want to listen to that. It's not garbage, but it's stuff that I'm moving on to other things. So it's like, all right, take that stuff and get rid of it and make some money at the same time. So like I said, we're trying to do that, and we'll come up with updates and everything. But that's kind of our first initial update. The response that we got from the women that were there was pretty good. Wouldn't you say, Tim? It was pretty good.
Yeah, and it was the entire, engagement was pleasant. Like they were really nice, super helpful, like, and I voiced also like this is our first time, like, there's a lot of stuff that like I just was kind of like bringing, like I didn't really know, and like moving forward, if we I would assume we're probably gonna do this for a second round, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Now I know like a little bit more like what I can push in that direction, based upon the conversations that we had. And then obviously we'll be able to watch the auctions ourselves and see how, how they're selling. So, I put some good stuff in there, but like, I also, I put some like low dollar stuff. So my expectations are not to make $1 million here, obviously, like my goal here was to get rid of some stuff, to put some extra cash in my pocket. And like I said, like just kind of like get a fresh start. And, like sometimes you just got to think that I just didn't do a good job of selling this stuff. And maybe this actually ends up selling for more money than I probably had even anticipated. So there's a lot of stuff here. You just don't want to put your expectations up high. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're putting into it. So kind of know what you're going to get back. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a good chance that there's 100 items that I sent there that don't sell. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be perfectly honest. Like it might not necessarily even be the item. It just the right person didn't find it. You know what I'm saying? Or there might be something that gets two people, they get into a bidding war and it sells for 10x what it was supposed to sell for. You just never know. So it's just don't set your expectations too high. Know what you're putting in and what you're going to get back. And that's pretty much the end of it for me.
Yeah, I don't have it where it's like I need to make this amount of money.
Yeah.
It's like I need to get this out of my house because it's overcrowding, and if I can make some money at the same time,
it's a win-win.
It's a win-win. Yeah. So absolutely. That's how we're going into it. Now, if you're trying to go like, well, man, I've got to make $1,000 by bringing all this stuff to this auction.
Don't do it.
Be very, very, very careful. As we've seen on eBay, even, hey, I've seen some, I've seen more auction fails than auction wins recently. So just take that as a grain of salt, But again, it's all this clutter. If I can get some money for this clutter, I'm excited.
Yeah, and like we've said, Leroy talked a little bit about sourcing at an auction. These guys are talking about selling at an auction. Guys, your business model does not have to fit into a box. Like, try stuff out because you never know. I mean, you may run up on stuff. I know for all of us on this panel, we enjoy buying. We do. We all enjoy buying the good stuff. But we all also are one-man bands when it comes to the listing end of that thing. So finding ways to liquidate what you have and move it quicker. For me, I don't really have unfortunately for me, the auction houses near me are always overbooked. Like you're talking 6 months getting stuff through there. Otts Antiques lives near me. He drops stuff off at a few like way off in Virginia. But for me, I actually one-stop shop. I do a lot of auctions on there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And guys, you will get deals. I'll just be honest. And I'm of the mindset, if you win, I win, we all win. For me, I'm buying stuff at a cheap enough profit. I know there's times I joke in my auction about Cernoch is like, what are you doing on the other side of the screen? Because I've sold some stuff on there that he's done told me. He's like, you better list that. I was like, here you go, $3 start. Let's go. But it's one of those things for me because I can get more. There's more stuff out there. Yeah. It's really getting a matter where you get things and maybe it comes at one of the things I've tried to look at now going forward is as I take stuff in, okay, this is there, this is there, this is here. And just sort it right out of the gate because like Cernoch said, there's things you buy that when you get it home, you're like, I'll never list that. Like, there ain't no way I'm going to list that. But there are other people just like today in our listing and loafing, 2 weeks ago for you guys, maybe 3 weeks ago for you guys. But when we were talking about these things, Tim pulls out this box of doll furniture. Like, I know Tim looks like Bob Vila, bro, but he's not the housing, like dollhouse expert. Like he's not gonna. And so, and like when you pull out stuff like that, you're like, okay, there's a choice. I can either learn about a new category, which is good, but it's time consuming. Just like myself, I've probably sold a load of parts tonight at the auction because I've listed a good portion of those things, and I've got a box that I'm like, you know what? Starting to get a little like I want to do something else here, so I might just let some of that go, and someone get a great deal. They make money, I make money. If the person that sold it to me made money, everybody made money. We're all happy. We're all good. So it's more about like, guys, is there ways that you can move your item? Is there ways you can move your item and still be in the profit? We're not talking about taking L's. Occasionally you may can take an L on one item. But most of the time, if you're selling things like this way in bulk or via auction, you're not going to take an L every time. If you are, you're spending too much money when you bought it. Like, really, that's what it
you
comes
may
down.
have to look at your sourcing practices if you're
get a little better at that. So, hey, we do appreciate you guys for watching the show. We are going to cut this one a little short, and I'll have Tim just take us out. Thank you, guys.
Oh, wow. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we love you guys. We hope you guys love us. I love Leroy. I love Cernoch. I love Eric. We're brothers. And you all are also our brothers and our sisters. And we're one big, happy reselling family. And we're getting old together. I got a little bit of gray hair in there, but hopefully less grays now that I'm moving 16 boxes to the auction house. And I have a little bit more space to bring in 16 more boxes of stuff. Just don't tell Josie that. But we appreciate all the love and all the support. Make sure you guys are dropping comments and questions below. Make sure you all are becoming members of the one-stop shop. There will be a link in the description below. And if you are a member, tell your friends and your family and your coworkers and your neighbors and your, mailman and the person at the corner store. Tell them all, okay? You have a referral code. You can use that code to get $5 to spend on something that you may like for yourself or somebody else. It's just a lot of fun. Let's have some fun, ladies and gentlemen. But most importantly, don't forget to tell a friend. Just tell a friend about the Reseller Information Network, RIN.